Have you ever stopped and considered, have you properly told God, thank you? It's easy to say with your mouth and with your words, God, I thank you. But your actions communicate and show whether or not you are truly grateful for what God has done. And let's say you are a person, you don't feel like God has done anything for you. Maybe you feel like God owes you, or maybe you feel entitled. I want to let you know that that is a dangerous place to be in, feeling as though God has not done anything for you at all. It's dangerous because you begin to now think that you're God. You begin to now think that you are in control and that it is you who gives yourself the ability to actually work and to go and make wealth. And so a person who feels like, well, what has God done for me lately? Matter of fact, I can't recall anything that God has done. Those types of people are dangerous because they are fully convinced that they are doing things by their own strength and their own might and through their own will, and not realizing that if God did not wake you up today, if you are alive today because someone somewhere did not make it to see another day, but if you have opened your eyes and you have breath in your lungs, it is not you who is allowing your heart to beat. It is not you who has made the air, yet you're breathing it. Yet you are breathing it. You're breathing God's air, his air that he's given freely. And so we could become grateful or ungrateful people. We could become ungrateful people. And I meet different people who have expressed, well, I have met people who have expressed, well, what has God done for me lately? I feel like where I am, I got by myself. I don't feel like me getting to where I am has anything to do with God. And that will cause individuals to withhold praise from God. And that's not the will of God, that we withhold praise, because that's what he's worthy of. The word of God says that we give unto God what is due unto his name. We give our reasonable service unto God. We bless the Lord with everything that is within us, because God is worthy. Whether he's done something for you today, lately, or he hasn't done anything in a long time, God is still worthy of praise, period. We ought to bless God in the good and the bad times. And so we should not withhold from God, because we owe God everything. We owe God our lives. We owe God our lives, and we can't be the type of people who feel entitled to something, because you and I, we really deserve hell. But God is so gracious and so merciful that instead of you suffering a brutal and bloody death, he sent his son in your place to die for you, because you really deserved hell. You did. You really deserve to be punished and to suffer for all eternity. But God sent his one and only son, his one and only begotten son, to die and suffer for you on the cross. He took nails in his hands for you and I, so that we did not have to spend forever away from God. And so in that, we are not entitled to anything. God does not owe us anything. It's only by his love and mercy that we can even have access to the Spirit of God, that we can even know his son, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's through his goodness and his mercy. And so I want to talk about these 10 lepers, because we can know that we have a condition. We can know that we have ways about us that we want God to change. Yeah, I know that I have a part of me that's messed up. I know I have this condition. I know I am in this state. I know I have this sickness or this illness. I can know that there are things about me that needs to be changed. I can know. And so with these 10 lepers that Jesus met on his way to, what was it, Galilee, they knew that they had a problem. They knew that they had this condition. That's why they were outside of the city. That's why they were away from everyone else. And even when Jesus entered into the city, it said that they stood afar off, because back then when people had leprosy, they had to stay away from the they have to actually live outside of the city, but they have to stay away from people. And so in Luke 17, which is what I want to look at really quick, Luke 17:11, it starts off and it says, "And it came to pass," meaning it happened, "as he went to Jerusalem, that he passed through the midst of Samaria in Galilee. And as he entered into a certain village," so Jesus was on a mission. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. "There met him 10 men that were lepers." So all of these individuals dealt with the same thing and probably shared similar emotions of just being a leper. And if you know anything about leprosy, it is a skin eating disease. And so you had these 10 men who have probably open wounds, more than likely, probably have a odor because, raw skin, raw flesh, it tends to have a smell. And so you can imagine the conversations that they had. You can imagine how they probably could relate to each other because they were all outside of the city. They were all, living a lifestyle from people having to be isolated, having to leave their family behind if they had a family, and having to be stuck this way. And so get that in your mind. "As he entered into a certain village, there met him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus." And so people can know that they need help. And they can know how to get the help. These men, they knew that this was the Son of God right here, right now, at this very moment, passing through their village. And so they took this opportunity to actually open up their mouths and to cry out, wait a minute, help is available right now. They understood that. And so people can understand and know that help is available right now, and they can know where to go. Just like a person that's sick. A person that's sick, they can know exactly where to go. The hospital. Oh no, I already know where to go. The hospital. I already know how to get help. I already know how to get what I need when it's made available. And so it said they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus. So they recognized who this was. Master, have mercy on us. They knew how to approach him. They knew how to say the right things. In a time of need, we know how to say what's needed in order to get what we need. You know that? People will know how to say what's needed in the right moments to get what they need. Yeah, common sense tells you this person has what I need. I want it. And in order to get it, I have to say the right things. And so they addressed him as master. And they said, have mercy upon us. Yeah, we know why we're in this condition. We know why we have this curse. Have mercy upon us. Have mercy. And it said, when he saw them, when he looked upon them, he looked upon their condition. He looked upon the fact that they had this disease. And he said unto them, go and show yourself unto the priest. Now, what Jesus was telling them was something that was done back then in Leviticus. When a person had leprosy, they had to go and show themselves to the priest. And if I'm not mistaken, and I've not been in Leviticus in a little minute, but I believe that before they had to wait 7 days, I believe it was 7 days. If somebody knows the correct number, you can post it. But they would have to show themselves to the priest. They would have to wait in the temple. And after 7 days, they would have to go back to the priest. And the priest would determine whether or not the spot, wherever the leprosy was, will have to determine whether or not that spot is clearing up or not. And then if it was clearing up, I think they had to wait another 7 days. And then after those 7 days, if it was gone, then that person was considered now clean. And they had to present, I forget what it was, they had to present something for their offering to be considered clean. And then if not, then that person, was still classified as a leper. And so Jesus telling them to go and show themselves to the priest was an act of faith. No, go and show yourself to the priest. He didn't say, you are now whole, you are now cleansed. No, go and show yourself to the priest as an act of faith. And so they did that. No questions asked. Oh, okay, that's it. That's all we had to do. We could have been did this a long time ago, but okay. And so they go and they do that. And it came to pass that as they went, and so they followed through with the commandment of the Lord. And so that was an act of obedience and an act of faith, them doing that. And because of their act of faith and obedience, it says as they went. And so as they followed through with Jesus' command to go and show themselves to the priest, it says, and they were cleansed. And they were cleansed, meaning that leprosy had cleared up in that moment. It cleared up. And so they no longer had that condition of this disease. That doesn't mean they didn't have other areas of their person and other sicknesses or even other diseases. But in this moment, their leprosy was cleansed. And it says one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back and with a loud voice glorified God and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. Jesus answering said, were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? There are not found that return to give God or to give glory to God except this stranger. And he said unto him, arise, go you your way, your faith has made you whole. All of them had faith because apparently they went. They had a level of faith. They had enough faith to actually go. And so we see how people can have enough faith to actually go. The children of Israel had enough faith to actually leave Egypt. They had enough faith to leave Egypt, but at some point they began to doubt in their heart. It wasn't enough for them to actually be grateful for what God had already done for them. And so this one leprosy, he saw something. He saw something more. He saw beyond the fact that his condition was clean, was cleansed and was healed. Like, no, this person had gratitude in his heart. No, wait a minute. This isn't just simply about the leprosy. No, this is more than that. Like, you changed me. You changed a way about me. You made me a believer. Who knows? Maybe this one person that turned back felt like, I can never be healed of this condition. I can never be the same again. I can never be whole again. I can never see my family again. I can never return back to my old life again. Maybe he felt that way. And so him actually having this encounter changed him in that moment. And so it wasn't even about just going to the priest. He went to the priest, and as he saw that he was cleansed, he had to turn back and say thank you for what the Lord done for him. Like, no, this is bigger than what you all may think. To the rest of the 9, maybe they felt entitled. You know, most people, they feel entitled. No, God, you owe me this. No, I know that you are Lord. I know that you are the master, but you owe me this. And so they were able to recognize who Jesus was. Yeah, you're Jesus. You're the master. But it was not enough to actually see beyond the fact that he just did that for them. He just did that for them. He just did a miracle right before their eyes. All of them were a partaker. All of them were a witness because they went and they followed through. They obeyed. They did what he said. And like I said, that entitlement. Thank you. I'm glad you finally showed up. I'm glad you finally showed up because I've been waiting a very long time. Do you realize how long I was in this state? Do you realize how long I've been in this condition and I've been away from my family this long and how I missed out on my life? I'm glad that you finally decided to show up. But what about those of us that can acknowledge what God is doing in our lives? It's very special because he didn't have to. He did not have to. He could have kept going. He could have ignored the fact that they even cried out in the first place, because Jesus walked past many people. Make no mistake about it. Jesus walked past people of all types of conditions and illnesses and sicknesses and disease and health problems and, disability problems. He walked past them. He could have simply walked past these Samaritan people. The Jews had no dealings with the Samaritan. And so this Samaritan's his heart. So that already tells you the heart of the Samaritans. They were an entitled people. They were an ungrateful people. They felt like, no, you should do something for me. You should do things for me. Do you know who I am? I am a Samaritan. But this one Samaritan, he humbled himself. That was humility. You realize that was a act of humility, him coming back and saying thank you. Most people are not willing to humble themselves after God does something for them. And whenever God does something for you, that's an open invitation to invite you into his kingdom. God will deliver you, heal you, set you free, break chains, loosen the shackles off of you just to invite you to come up higher. That's what this was for this individual. And not only was he cleansed from his leprosy, but he was made whole in that moment. He was made whole. And so, yeah, it's one thing to be cleansed of a condition, but it's another thing to be cleansed of a mindset and of who you used to be. Oh, no, now you're made whole. No, not only have I cleansed you, but I made you whole. Your heart, the state of your heart, the bitterness that you had, the unforgiveness that you had, the sadness that you had, the depression that you had as a leper. They went through some things. They took on some mindsets. They became a whole different person being in the state that they were. And so the Lord actually made this person whole from the inside out. Like, no, your heart, everything about you is now different. Everything about you is changed because you acknowledge the fact that I did not have to do this for you. And so he turned around and he said, thank you to the Lord. He said, thank you to the Lord, because it's not enough to just say thank you with your mouth. No, you have to show your gratitude in your actions. And so it's not enough to say, Lord, yes, I thank you, God, for saving me. Yes, Lord, I thank you for healing me. Yes, Lord, I thank you for the deliverance. I thank you for saving me from that car accident. I thank you for saving me from being locked up in prison, doing a life sentence. It's not enough with your words, because everybody does that or can do that. It's easy to say thank you, Lord, with your words. But what about with your actions? Does your actions communicate that you are truly grateful for what God has done in your life? Because I can say thank you, and then I can go back out and get what God has delivered me from. I can go back out and do what he saved me from. He saved me from jail, but I'm going to go back out and do things that are going to put me right back in that same state. That's going to put me right back in that same situation. I don't know if you've ever gotten someone out of a hole or out of a situation just for them to go back in it. It made me think about this clip that I saw. One of my brothers shared it maybe a couple months back, of this guy getting this sheep out of this tight hole. This hole was very, very tight, and it took the guy even a minute to get the sheep out. But once he finally got the sheep out, do you know this sheep got out of the hole, ran and jumped right back in the hole. Right back in the hole. That's us. All we like sheep have gone astray. That is us. We can be dumb sheep. Jesus, the good shepherd, can save us out of a situation, out of a mess, out of a hole that we got ourselves into. Because like I said, that entitlement will keep you back. Entitlement will close you off from the blessings of God. Entitlement will keep you from experiencing the power of God in your life. Entitlement, yeah, because you feel as though God owes you something. You feel as though, like the thief on the cross, you don't deserve to be in this situation. Wait a minute, we don't deserve to be here. If you truly are the Son of God, save us and yourself. Save yourself and save us, because we don't deserve this punishment, although we lived our whole life as a criminal. We lived our whole life like we should be on this cross. No, I lived a lifestyle that said I need to be crucified. Yeah. And so we put ourselves in situations and in circumstances, and then we blame God. We blame God. And so we can be like that sheep that goes back into that situation, goes back into that mess. And so we have to be the kind of people that says with our whole lives, God, I'm grateful. God, I thank you, because that's going to communicate whether or not we truly are grateful and thankful at the fact that God has delivered us and gotten us out of our situations that we put ourselves in, like that sheep. Yeah. The man got the sheep out of the hole. The sheep went to the left or went to the left and went back in the hole. Went right back in the hole. Like, yeah, we don't want to have to be the kind of people who we say with our mouths, God, I love you, God, I trust you, God, I thank you. But our actions is saying, I don't care that you delivered me. I don't care that you healed me. Yeah, the 9 lepers, it wasn't enough for them to come back. Maybe they felt like I got better things to do. Man, no one thought in their mind, man, I wonder who that guy really was. Man, I wonder what would happen if I go back and tell that guy thank you because he didn't have to. Like, man, do y'all realize nobody stopped and said, man, do y'all realize we were in this condition for X amount of years? Man, y'all realize that we were messed up? Y'all realize we spent, this amount of years, this amount of time away from our family and our loved ones? We should go back and say thank you. No one said that. And I don't know, maybe the one did. Maybe the one that returned back said to the others, we should go back. You know what? Well, if no one else wants to go back, I'm going to go back and tell them thank you. And sometimes you have to be that one. Sometimes you can't wait around for anybody else to do it. Sometimes you have to do it. Like, no, you know what? If nobody else goes back and tell him thank you, if nobody else goes back and worships God and bless God and give glory and honor to him, I'm going to do it. And I have to be that one because my lifestyle has to say thank you to the Lord. My lifestyle has to communicate, let my life be a praise unto you, Lord God, because you're worthy of my life. This guy understood that God was worthy of his life in that moment because he could have went on living his life. He was free. And that's exactly what Jesus did. He set them free. Jesus makes people free and people go right back into bondage. And so those individuals, those 9, they might have been cleansed from a physical disease, but they had a spiritual sickness. Yeah, you are physically healed, but you are still spiritually in bondage. You are still spiritually sick. And that one that came back, he understood that, man, yeah, I just got freed from a physical sickness, but there's more. And as he went back, he was made whole. Yeah, not only are you free physically, but now you're free spiritually. I healed you every which way. You are now whole. Do you know what that means to be made whole? So you're not partially cleansed or partially free. Yeah, they were made partially free. Yeah, it's just your condition that's fixed. But what about your mind? What about your perspective? What about the condition of your heart? What about the state of your heart? Yeah, they went back with the same mindsets. They went back with the same emotions and the same bitterness and the same greed and the same, hurt in their heart, the same anxiety in their heart, the same pride, the same entitlement in their heart. Yeah. You are a grievous person. You are an angry person. You are a bitter person. You are a sad person. They went back with that, but not this individual. Oh no, I know how to turn back and say thank you. And so will you turn back to the Lord and say thank you with your life? Because you owe God, but you owe God all of that. You owe God your thank you. That's what I want to say today. You owe God your thank you, not just with your words, but with your life. My lifestyle has to say I'm grateful for what he's done. And so what that looks like is me staying clean and me staying clear of what he's delivered me from. If it's drugs, if it's fornication, if it's lying, if it's stealing, whether, it's murder, whatever it was for you, witchcraft, you got to stay clear of that stuff. You got to stay clean. He's made you clean from that thing, and you have to stay clean. You have to stay what he's trying to make you. And that's going to communicate that you are so grateful for what he's done. No, God, I'm grateful. How do you know that you're really grateful? Because you can tell God all day, but God knows whether or not you're telling the truth. He knows what's in your heart. He knows how you really feel. And so your lifestyle is going to communicate whether or not you are a grateful person. Man, wasn't that person diagnosed with cancer? Yeah, that's what you call it. Oh, okay. I heard that person is healed now, but that person went back to living any kind of way. Matter of fact, it made me think about this high school classmate of mine. This person Somehow this person had got caught up in a shooting to where this person was shot, if I'm not mistaken. This person was shot over 5 times. Over 5 times. And when I saw them back in school, I was like, if I was this person, I would give my life to the Lord, because you're supposed to be dead. You know, you hear of stories of a person getting shot 1 time and that be it. You were shot over 5 times and you're right here, right now, back in class. If I were you, I would serve the Lord right now. But this person, after he was shot over 5 times, this person went back to living any kind of way. And I was just mind blown, because I don't know. I've never been shot before, but if I was shot over 5 times and I'm still walking around with all of my body parts intact, that would let me know that God is calling me. Oh man, God has to be calling me, because I'm supposed to be dead right now. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about that people can experience throughout life. People can experience near-death experience and not even thank God. Not even consider that it was God that saved them. You're supposed to be dead. Yeah, you were in the club. There was a shooting. The bullet flew right over your head. Did not hit you. That should have been for you. You were in that car. Your car went to swerving all over the highway. You should have been hit. But when you opened your eyes, when you lift up your head and you opened your eyes, there were no cars near you. There were no cars near you. Your car should have flipped over. But God, your car, that should have been you. That should have been you on the side of the road, but the Lord told you to go this way today. No, that should have been your car. That should have been your life. But the Lord is so merciful. He loves you. He protects you. He makes a way of escape for you. And sometimes we don't even stop and say thank you. And I'm not just saying with your word, with your life. We don't even stop and tell God, thank you. No, that should have been your life. No, you should have been the one with the car flipped over. You should have been the one in the emergency room. You should have been the one behind bars. But God, because we know how to say it, but God, you know, he saved me. He delivered me. I should have been locked up. I'm supposed to be doing life right now behind prison bars, but God, because he's so merciful and he's so good. Yes, God does things like this every day. Every day the Lord is doing things like this, saving people from near-death experiences, you know, causing people who've been shot multiple times to get up and just walk away, causing people, you know, who was in a house fire, or, you know, causing people who got ran over to just get up and walk away, like walking miracles, causing people who've been diagnosed with deadly illnesses and sicknesses to literally walk out of the hospital healed as walking miracles, causing people who are in wheelchairs to just get up and go. What is happening? Yeah, God is inviting you into his kingdom to serve him and to turn around and say, thank you, Lord. But most people walk around with entitlement. Most people walk around as though God owes them. No. God has better saved me out of this. I give to the charity. You know, I am a good person. Then we start to say things like, I'm a good person. I'm not a bad person. And so, no, God should have saved me from that car accident. No, I should walk around, although I've been shot 7 times. Although I've been shot 8 times. Although, you know, I committed murder. I committed things worthy of death. You realize that? We live in such a simple way that we commit acts worthy of what we go through. Yeah. You may feel like I don't deserve to be going through what I'm going through right now. Yeah, but you sowed things, because you know you reap what you sow. Now you sowed to this. You contribute to this. You did things leading up to why you are going through what you're going through. But God, he's so merciful. He's so merciful that he'll reach down from where he is, because his hand is not too short. He will reach down from where he is and take you out of that situation. He will reach down from where he is and shield you as you're driving on the highway, as you are on your way to commit a sinful act, as you are on your way to go and take this person's life. The Lord will shield you, not because he's trying to, you know, protect you in your sin, but because he's so merciful that he will use different events in your life to draw you to him. Yeah, although you're on your way to go and murder and to shoot up this person, I'm going to meet you in the way, like he did Saul. Like he did Saul, I'm going to meet you in the way. On your way to Damascus, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to meet you because I love you. I'm so merciful. And you know what? Saul actually turned around and told the Lord, thank you, with his life. He committed his whole life to the Lord. Lord, whatever you want me to do, whatever your will is for my life, I'm gonna believe and I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say yes with my life. And so our lifestyles have to say yes and thank you to God. How does that look? Daily commitment, acknowledging that it's not by your might and your strength, But it's by his might and his strength and by his power that you are where you are, that you are still standing, that you have not fallen and just given up. You've not turned to suicide. Yeah. It's by the Lord's power and by his hand that you are still living today. He's giving you breath in your lungs. He's woken you up today and started you on your way, as they say. Yeah. The Lord woke me up and started me on my way. Okay. And how are you telling him thank you? How are you giving back to God? Because it's not simply as just saying thank you with your words. Your lifestyle has to say thank you, God. Your lifestyle has to look a certain way that says, God, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all that you've done. Yeah. My lifestyle is going to say, I'm grateful. What are you doing with your life? I'm living it for the Lord because he could have taken my life, yet he's giving me life. And so it's only right that I give it back to him. It's only right that you give your life back to the one who's given it to you. And that's what this individual did. He came back and he worshiped the Lord. He came back and he glorified God. He glorified God. He fell down to his face. That's humility. Most people are not willing to get that low. They're not willing to say, you know what, I actually needed you more than I realized. You know, I actually needed your healing. You know, I actually needed your words. You know, I actually needed you to tell me about myself. But most are going to walk away and feel like, oh no, I'm glad he did it because, woo, it's been a while. It's been a while since I seen my family. Woo, it's been a while since I had a drink. Woo, it's been a while since I fornicated. It's been a while since I kicked it with someone. And that's what those individuals went back to doing, living their life before. They went back to being the same them. Nothing changed except their outer appearance, except the fact that they no longer had this disease. Nothing changed about them. Nothing. Not their mindset, not the condition of their heart. Nothing changed about them. Yeah, that's why they were partially made clean. Yeah, nothing changed about them. But this individual, yeah, everything about him changed. His heart was changed. His mindset was changed. Every part of him was changed. And so he was made whole. Do you want to be made whole? Because God can do something for you and you be partially made new. You be partially made healed. You be partially made clean. Yeah. But you go back to the same mindset. Yeah, you're free. You know, you're not in jail. You're not dead. You're not in the hospital. You're not brain dead. You know, you're not a sitting vegetable. Yeah, but you still have ways about you that you're holding on to. Yeah. You still go back to your same mindset and the old you, and you know, you're still doing you. You're still doing you. But for those of us, we are truly grateful for all that God has done. We have to be the ones that turn back and say thank you. No, that's the only reason why you turn back. Not like Lot's wife, but you turn back to tell the one who's giving you life, thank you. No, I'm grateful for what you did. No, this is not nothing small. No. I should have been left in this condition. I should have remained a leper. You didn't have to, but you did. And so I have to come back and tell you thank you. Yeah. However long that journey was for him. Maybe the rest of them felt like, man, it's too far to walk back. It's too much for me to go back and say thank you. But him, oh no, I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care how far I have to go and walk. And it's funny because apparently Jesus waited for them because he went back to where he found Jesus. I'm going to go back to where I saw that guy who told me to go and show myself to the priest, and I'm going to go and tell him thank you. That's so interesting. Jesus waited. That's why Jesus said, were there not 9? Where are the rest? No, I'm still here. Because I just know you're going to come back and tell me thank you, because what I did for you, no one could have done. What I did for you, I didn't have to. So I know you're going to come back. Matter of fact, I'm going to wait right here. I'm going to wait right here. And that's what he did. Jesus waited. He waited. You know, Jesus will do things and wait for us to come and tell him thank you. I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. That way you don't have to go and look for me. It didn't say that he went looking for Jesus. It says that he turned back. He turned back when he saw he turned back. Wait a minute, let me go back to where I came from. Yeah, you forget where you come from. You forget where you came from. Let me go back from where I came from and tell him thank you. Because I know he's there. I know he's there. Yeah. Most are not going to go back and tell them thank you. They're going to go back to where they came. They're going to go back to where they came from in their minds. But this individual said, I have to go and tell them thank you. I have to. And so that has to be us, brother. And that has to be our life testimony, that we turned around and that we told the Lord thank you. And that we're saying thank you every day, because we're being saved every day. Every day I'm being saved. Every day I'm being cleansed. Every day I'm being renewed. My mind is being renewed every day. The Lord is making me whole every day. He's making me new every day. He's transforming me every day. This is not just a one-time thing. This is why it's so dangerous for a person to feel like it's them who gets them what they have. Oh no, it's me that got me this job. It's me that got me this career. It's me that got me this house. It's me that got me these cars. It's me that got me what's in my bank account. And I've heard people say that over time. Yeah, it's me that got me to where I am. Yeah, those kind of people, they'll never get more than what they have from God. Yeah, you get the minimum. You get limited things. You get limited access to God. Yeah, because there are things that God will give to everyone, like the sun. The word of God says he allows the sun to shine on the just, the righteous, and the unjust, the unrighteous. Yeah, he allows the rain to fall on the just and the unjust. Yeah, there are things that God does for everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a portion. Yeah, I'm gonna give you your portion in this life. I'm gonna allow the sun to shine on you. I'm gonna allow the rain to fall on you. But not everybody will get to experience the hand of God. Not everybody will get to experience the miraculous power of God. No, you don't get to see this part of me. I only show Moses this part of me, but the rest of you all know because of your unbelief, because of your hardness. Yeah, because of your stubbornness, you don't get to see this part of me. And so we don't want to be those kind of people who God, you only partially know God because he only partially shows himself to you because of the way you are. Or he doesn't show himself to you at all. No, I'm not going to show myself to that person. Yeah, I'm going to walk past that person because Jesus did things like that. He walked past people. But that doesn't have to be us. No, I want to continue to see the hand of God moving. So I'm grateful. And you know that I'm grateful because my lifestyle is going to communicate that. And so that needs to be us. That needs to be you. Will you be the one to turn back and say thank you?